Okay, so I got here to the Ninjatrader. Mm, Storage. Go- mm, Let's go to strategy builder and have a review of what we did last time. Strategy builder. Small pink arrow. This is the one that we created last week. So summary for the people who didn't know what's the first one. Um, what we did, we created a system that will sell if we get a pink triangle, and it will buy if we get a pink triangle with a set stop loss and a set take profit. But I got quite some questions about it. Are there more things that we can do? So one of the things that got request for me is like, can we change the lot size in an easy way? And that is not too complicated. So if you go to input and variables, then the top section is the one that you can edit here in strategy tester. So if you then right click edit strategy, you can see here lot size. So, but how do you get that there? Okay, so I will add the strategy we're working on. So you can see it's not there yet. So that is a zoom in arrow. So it's the top one. And if you want to edit it, there's nothing with lot sizes in here. So you can go to add the or it's a lot size. It's an integer because it's like a complete random number. Default is one and the minimum is one. It's perfectly fine. You don't have 0.2 lots. And if you trade micros, it's still like 1, 2, or 3. Um, but then you have to set that it should use that number. So if you go to your trade entry, you select edit. So at quantity, we have now default quantity. We enter a long position with the default quantity. But if you select set, you can select something else as a source for the quantity. So we got a user input for lot size. So now whatever we put in the lot size, it will reuse for a long. And we can do the same here. So we edit it again. Instead of default quantity, select use the lot size input. Now we have to compile it. So then it will add that functionality. So it was successful. So if I now go to zoom pink arrow and I want to edit the strategy, so now I have one lot size, but I can put in 3. And if I enable it, so now it becomes active. And you see in the parameter, we got a lot size of 3 is now activated. So maybe if I use a smaller, oh, let's remove these two. I use like a small Renko. So we got quick changes and see if it will actually take a trade with 3 lot sizes. doing something, not sure why. Let's restart the playback. Connection playback. Market replay. Thank you. Continue. Diana's in the waiting room. Oh. Hi, Diana. Sorry. Not sure what's doing now. Not sure what it's waiting for, but looks like it's frozen. Why is my Ninjatrader not doing what I wanted to do? Second. Why is my Ninjatrader frozen? Apologies, I really have no idea what's happening now. Oh, there we go. So we added like a 3 lot size to the default program that we created last week. So I now should be able to enable it. Not reacting to anything. No, we both want VPS. I really have no idea what's happening. and disconnected screen sharing as keep my Ninjatrader password confidential. Once logged in, I will share again. In the meantime, let me explain how you're going to trail your stop loss basically with Ninjatrader. So it has 3 phases. So here's your entry, and then somewhere here is your stop. So here's your stop loss, and not really using a take profit, but the idea is that your stop loss will go up and up and up every time. So what you can do is you can enter the trade, and then you have to put in a value in a box. So that's like the stop loss value. And then your stop loss will read in this box which value is there, and then it put the stop loss on that certain value. And that value you can define by indicator value, price value, high, low of the candle. So your flexibility is in here, how you calculate that value, and your stop loss will just read in that box. And every time if this value is updated, it will adjust the stop loss based on the new value in the box. So that is the general procedure that you need to, if you want to have like a moving stop loss of a modified or updating stop loss. So now let's get back to Ninjatrader. I think I need to share again. Yeah, share. Connections, playback. Play and queue. Replay and queue. 20th, continue. Let's go for 18 to Renkos. Close some other stuff. Enable. Now strategy is still loading. And then we can see what is happening. In the meantime, let's start with strategy builder for the next part. I really don't know what's happening. Never happened before. If you have any questions, just drop in or ask them or put them in the chat. That's perfectly fine. If you trail your stop, it's better to use price change instead of on bar close. Otherwise, at the first bar, you don't have a stop. So we got here the lot size settings. We just the basic thing. Oh, let's remove the filter. Oh, there we go. So you see now we have now 3 lots. We have defined in the parameter that it's now opening 3 lots as a trade size instead of the 1 that was default. So in that way, you could easily change your lot size. Instead of using here the entry long and short, let me pause this one. If you can also set here the values, because if you add here, then it's good that you use the same settings from the entry signals. So that's correct. Oh no, I can skip this one. So we're going to remove these because we are now planning to make a trailing stop instead of the normal stops. So to store that value, we need a box to store this value. So that can be, what was it? Stop long. It has to be double because it needs to have 2 values. So there's a value and then has to be able to add the new value. So we got an entry, we enter long, and at the same, and now we also need to store the value. So set stop long, which value do we want to be there? So that can be the price. And if we go long, we want to have the low of the previous candle as a stop. And if you want to, you can say like ticks, and you can, I want to have an offset of 5 ticks. So if the trade is opened, the value of the stop is now stored in stop long. But there is no stop loss opened yet. We only have stored the value. So what we're now going to do, we have to have a condition that if you have a long trade open and the value of the box is stored, then we want to have an exit of the long position by stop order. Now that is from entry long, so it knows which trade it belongs to. Default quantity, I would use current position size because sometimes you don't get completely filled. So if you put in 10 and there are 8 open, then you don't want to stop for 10 because then if the stop is hit, you got 2 lots in different direction trades. And if you use like the position quantity, it's matching. So, and here you get the stop price. And the stop price, that is the stop long value that we have put in place. So recap, what's happening? We have a condition to open a trade. A buy trade is opened and a value is stored. Then it will check at the second tab. It says like, okay, we are in a long trade. So I want to have a stop order or a stop loss order. And the stop loss order should have the value of the stop long that is traded. But it also needs to update because otherwise the stop loss does not move. It stays at one place. That's not what we want. So you can just copy this line because you want to have the same condition here again. So we want to be in a long position. And that is with Renko's not such a problem. But if you have normal candles, and the previous candle can be up or can be down. So what we also want to do is that the close price of the current candle is greater or equal than the close price of the previous candle. Let me illustrate. Now, where is my drawing tools? So if we are here in a long, and then on the next candle, this will be the low. But on this candle, this one is lower. And if you do not add a filter that it only should move within the price direction, then here your stop will move again backwards to this one. And that's the one that you want to prevent. And therefore we have this filter that the current close should be higher than the previous close. And only if that is the case, we want to update stop long to the low price. One candle, and we have like put in like a 5-tick offset. Now let's see if it does what it should do. Well, let's go back to Renko's. Really no idea why it's so slow. I'll give them different name and see if we can add it. Trailing and lot size. So I can select, okay, I want to use 2. Enabled. Okay. Why is it not loading? Oh, there we go. But now we need to wait for like we only made long at the moment, so you have to wait for a purple pink triangle for a bicycle. And from there we can see like how's it behaving. And afterwards we can also make, of course, like the cell version. Just copy and paste, and then you have to change the direction. So like bar should be cell, and larger should be smaller, things like that. And that's not too complicated to adapt to that. So let's slow down a little bit. So we got now the buy with two lot sizes as we have calculated. As you can see here on the top, we said like we want to have two lot sizes. We are in too long. The stop is on the low of the previous candle. And if we now continue to move upwards, then the stop should move as well. As you can see, oh, it did go very quickly. Let's go to data series. Oh, so now based on the chart, you can expect a sell again, and then we have to see for the next buy what it is doing. But on a quick glance, you could see like it was working the trailing. And now I just have set previous low of the candle was trailing stop. But if you understand the, oh, let's slow down, but you can see what's happening if you go to a buy again. But if you understand the way the stops work, then like the value that you can use anything. I mean, you can use like any moving average or a trend direction, a super trend. The way it works is the same. It's just that you use a different value as stored value for your stop. So that makes it very flexible to test and adapt based on your personal requirements or personal needs to get this trailing stop working. Although at the moment, I'm still not convinced that a trailing stop really increases a lot of your profit. As if you trail like 20 ticks, if you go 20 ticks, you'll break even, and with 21 ticks, you make one tick. If you like take a 10 tick profit at 10 ticks, you clear out quicker and you're less long in the market and you will lose on the runners. But if the market moves more sideways, you'll get more profits instead of losses. I'm still a little bit in doubt what is the best way to approach. So we got now in the trade, you see the stop loss. If the next candle closes, it should, yeah, now the third one is doing funny, but that's a little bit the way it should work. Not sure why it's moving so quickly and so it's a lot. But that's basically the idea of the trailing stop. Maybe because we added ticks for offset. Can remove that one and see if how that works. Mm. So if you just use, you don't use offset. Oh, it was arithmetic and not ticks. Okay. 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 Edit. Set. So I'll go a little bit back. We enable it again without offset. See, now it's working. So the offset confused it. So now we have basically a trailing stop on the low of the previous candle. And instead of -1 with the candle that we used here, bars ago is 1. But if you want to have more room, you can, for example, put in like 4. So then it will look 4 candles back. And that might prevent you to be kicked out in small wicks that you see on raincoats regularly, like this wick, that you stay in the trade if you go a little bit lower than 1 bar ago, but for example, like 4 bars ago. In that way, you can cover that you still have the nice run for the move. But you can put anything as value here. So like if I go to an indicator, I can say I want to have the price of the super trend. So I want the super trend to be stored. So plot on chart, then it will draw the super trend on my chart. I like to use like 1.5. Now in that way, if you are very flexible, which indicator you match to your stop. I did not add the other ones, but so now you see the super trend is drawn and you can trail along the super trend. It's basically the same procedure. You just use different values. So you enter the stop at the super trend value. And here you have to adapt again that the stop long is set as an indicator. And then we use TS super trend. I like to use 1.5 because it's a little bit closer to price compared to the 268 by default. Compile. And now I need to disable this one and re-enable it. So then it will use the super trend as value. And now we have to wait for the long setup, and then it should start using the super trend, like the green dots as a trend. Any questions so far? No, I was not trading pink arrow to pink arrow. I've looked at that, but in sideways market, you lose a lot. So now you see we're trailing on the super trend. So on the green dots, the stops on the green dots, and with every candle, it will move up to the next green dot as expected. As always, a balance. Like, do you want to have small profits or let it run? So like you see how it's working. It's trailing on the green dots. It's moving upwards nicely. So in that way, you can easily make your own trailing stop in a way with an indicator, what you prefer, completely random. It's the way it works is all the same. It's just like if you choose a different indicator for the trailing. So that's kind of how it's working. So now we have a long. Let's go back to the strategy builder. You can, if you have a set, you can right click and then duplicate in a new tab. So now we only have to add it, the buy and sell and long to short. So this is a buy, so that should be a sell. And we want to enter short instead of long. So we enter a short position. And the quantity is the one from the lot size that we have set. And the signal name is then entry short. And we have a stop long, so now we also have to make a stop short here. And it has to be a double as well, so that we can reference to that. Edit. So stop short. And the value is the indicator. We use the super trend. I like to use 1.5. So now we got, if you have the sell condition with the pink arrow, we enter the short and the stop short value is stored. And we get set to, we can duplicate that as well. So if we are in a short position, so we exit short position with a stop order from entry short. We want to use the current position size and the stop price is stop short value. And then we have to add that it's updated every time, that value. So you have to add this again. So we are in a short position. Stop short. Set to the super trend. 1.5. Okay. Okay. And let's compile. There could be an error in this. Okay, this one should be different. Should be as equal. Let's put it again on the chart. And let's see what it's doing. And now it should trade in both directions, short and long. So if you get now a short setup, should see trade and see if that will work. Not sure what's happening. There's some kind of error, but this is basically the idea for like how to trail your stop on whatever indicator you want to use. Yeah, there's some not assassinated. Studies and cancer at a close position to itself. Probably some mistype somewhere, but I hope you got the idea. Are there any questions? And talk, you can use the chat, whatever you prefer, both are okay. No, I've not really traded. I've tested pink arrow to pink arrow, but like this is nice areas, and then it looks very profitable. But you never know what the market will bring. And if you're in areas like this, let me make it a little bit bigger. Like if you got this setup, this will be your entry, basically. And for this will be an entry over long based on this arrow. But then your stop will be here based on this arrow. And then once again, you got, so your entry will be here. And the trade will stop out in a loss. So if you go this distance and you go to currency, so you make $270 profit and in a loss. That means your margin for your loss, your drawdown, will be reduced by 250. And you see like you have like 1, 2, and probably this one as well. So then you have 3 losses in a row. So that is on a 50K account, you lose then 30% of your maximum drawdown, basically, because you lose then $750 on a 2,500 that you have. So in that way, I was not so charmed by trading pink arrow to pink arrow. So or you must add a break even like a 10 ticks. Then at least you don't lose that money. But I still have to build that in there and see how that is testing. And I think like the 10 tick TP, there are so many setups and almost all go to 10 ticks. It's very rarely that you lose. It's like 1 out of 5 maybe that will really become a loss. So until now, my preference is like the 10 tick TP instead of the trailing stop. It's possible, and maybe like 3 to 6 hours after New York Open, you have many times your very nice moves. So maybe you can use both, like the 10 ticks for normal trading and like the 3 to 6 hours after New York Open, use a trailing stop. I mean, one doesn't rule out the other. I mean, you can use both, but depending on market conditions, you choose which one would be the better fit for you at that moment. So I hope this can help you to how to do it and set it up, and then go from there. I hope you enjoyed it. I will put it on my YouTube so you can review it, or if you are not able to watch it, and then we go from there. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and then we go from there. Let's see if I miss anything in the chat. Okay, no. Yeah, okay. And go from there, and I will let you know if it's uploaded. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.